As I promised you to start with thermodynamics, so here I am going to start a thermodynamics subject, and before going to the subject, I request you to please subscribe our channel TechRef and hit the like button and share this video with your friends so that they will equally benefit from this channel. Okay. So without wasting any time, let's start the thermodynamics. Okay. So before starting this subject, let me give you a glimpse of the concept discussed will be discussed here, right? So first two classes I'll be discussing the basic uh, theoretical concept of thermodynamics. After that, I'll move towards the mathematical because mechanical subject is full of mathematics. So mathematical and conceptual knowledge behind thermodynamics. Okay, let's start with this. Okay, so first thing is what is what is thermodynamics? What is thermodynamics? See, I'm writing this word differently, like with some space, but it is actually one word. Okay, so thermo means what? Thermo means is something related to heat, and dynamic means it is something related to transfer. So most of the student here confused between heat transfer and thermodynamics, because in mechanical subject thermodynamics and heat transfer are two different subjects. Okay, so thermodynamics, so what are the difference between these two? First we will discuss this. Thermodynamics is something related to the heat transfer or all form of possible form of heat transfer or energy transfer between system and surrounding to keep the system at equilibrium. This is the important word you have to remember, because thermodynamics is always discussing about the equilibrium state of a system. Might be the heat will transfer, might be the work will transfer, might be all form of energy will transfer, but thermodynamics is keeping the system at equilibrium state. It will not consider any time bound. That means what is the how much will be the time required to make the system equilibrium or to keep the system equilibrium. It will not rely upon this will not rely upon the time bound, but this will rely upon the equilibrium state of the system, where heat transfer is also study about heat transfer or all form of energy transfer in a system due to the temperature difference, but it is not discussing about the equilibrium concept. The heat transfer is not discussing about the equilibrium concept. It is discussing about the heat transfer between two body through different modes like conduction, convection, radiation, evaporating, cooling, through different modes, but it is not discussing about the equilibrium condition. And again, but it will discuss about the time for which heat will transfer. Please remember it. So this is the transient phenomena, like for how much time the heat will transfer in a system. Okay, but thermodynamics is not discussing about the time. It is not having a time bound. It is only focusing on the equilibrium of the state. So that is the basic difference between thermodynamics and heat transfer. Now you get it? thermodynamics discuss about equilibrium, while heat transfer discuss about non-equilibrium process for a specific time through which the heat will be transferred. Okay. Now I think you get this concept, and then we'll be focusing on thermodynamics. Later we'll come to the subject heat transfer after completing the thermodynamics subject, but first we'll have to complete thermodynamics. When we discuss about thermodynamics, first we should know what are the approaches to study a subject. What are the approaches to study a subject? You might get some concept from your intermediate 12th or 10th level, like thermodynamics. When you are talking about thermodynamics or heat transfer or something like that, at the same time we'll be discussing about different property of a system, like temperature, thermal property, like specific heat, like total heat, density, something like that. So how these properties are decided? What is the value of this property are decided? Okay, so there are different approaches to decide the value of the property. So there are two approaches in mechanical engineering. This is not for thermal engineering, this is for all mechanical engineering. Please remember microscopic approach. Another is macroscopic approach. So micro and macroscopic approach. So this is also called as classical. In classical thermodynamics, this approach is used, but in statistical thermodynamics, this microscopic approach is used. So the name itself, micro and micro. Micro means very small or very minute. Macro means something is very big. So microscopic means molecular level. Suppose this is a room and you want to find out the temperature of this room. Okay, so there are lakhs and crores of molecules are present in the room, but the molecules are maintaining different temperatures. But if you are going for microscopic analysis, we should not say the temperature is this much. We should say there are 100 number of molecules, let's say, and different molecules is having different temperature. Then after that, we have to take a statistic of this temperature and find out the average value of this temperature just to know about the temperature of the room. Okay, so that's why this name is itself a statistical thermodynamics, a statistical approach. Okay, but in case of the macroscopic approach, where the molecular level is not that much important. Okay, molecular level concept is not that much important. We don't have that much time to study the molecular level. We want just what the temperature of this room. Just we put a thermometer inside the room and take the temperature. Okay, so that type of here, what happened basically, we take the we take what, just a temperature of this room, but a bulk level temperature. It's not a molecular level temperature, this is a bulk level temperature. Okay, here we are not bothered about that much accuracy that we will get from molecular level. The accuracy might become, but here the time is less because we are having less time to analyze a certain property. So at that time we use the macroscopic approach. But if you are focusing on accuracy instead of the time, then we'll go for molecular approach. So that's why microscopic approach is basically used in classical thermodynamics. Now you get the concept? Okay. Next, let's going to the next concept, that is when we are discussing about thermodynamics. Okay, so at that time three things are important. We should know about the term. One is system, another is surrounding, the last one is boundary. System, surrounding and boundary. So what are these terms? We know system means what? Let's take one example, the same example, like we want to find out the temperature of this room. So what is the system here? Through example I am trying to explain you what is the system. System is something in which our study arena is focused. Here our study arena is to find the temperature of a room. So our study is focused inside the room only. We don't bother about what is the temperature outside of the room. We are bother about what is the temperature inside the room. Okay. So system is something like our study arena is focused. So what are the different types of system we'll discuss. Then surrounding means outside of the system. Okay, in there is a universe. Universe means everything is included. So if you exclude the system from the universe, then the rest part is your surrounding. Okay, and boundary is something, okay, which will separate system and surrounding. Okay, so let's classify it. That means if we combine these three, we'll get universe. Okay, that means system plus surrounding plus boundary will give you universe all in total. Now our M2, we have defined system, surrounding and boundary. Now we are going to classify different systems, surrounding and boundaries. See, system are classified into three parts. One is open system, second one is closed system, third one is isolated system. Then on which basis the classifications are made? On which basis this classification is made? See, the basis of heat and mass transfer. Heat and mass transfer. As there is a transfer, heat transfer, mass transfer, then from system to surrounding or surrounding to system through a boundary. So that's why this heat transfer is always a boundary phenomena and mass transfer is always a boundary phenomena, because this transfer is made through the boundary between system and surrounding. So on the basis of heat and mass transfer, the system is classified into three parts. One is open system, where the heat transfer and mass transfer are not restricted. That means we can transfer heat as well as mass through the boundary of the system, open system. Okay, and the open system is somehow also named as control volume. Please remember. Why? Because the volume is fixed. Control volume is, the volume is controlled or the fixed. Only some heat and mass transfer or entering into the system and exiting the system through the boundary. Okay. Then talking about closed system, where mass is restricted but heat will be transferred. Heat is transferred but mass is restricted. Can you give one example? If you close all the windows and door of this room, the room is acting like a closed system. The energy might transfer, but mass is not transfer. Open system means if you take a room and open the windows and doors, then this is acting like a open system. So closed system means your mass is fixed. So this is called, sometimes called control mass system. Okay. Then isolated system in which both mass and heat are restricted. The flow of mass and heat are restricted. So isolated system is best example is your thermoflask. Okay. If you put the cap off in the thermoflask, the mass is not transfer as well as the heat will not transfer. Hmm. Then classify surrounding. Surrounding is of two types. One is the near field, another is the far field. Near field always whatever the energy interaction between system and surrounding, that is always the near field surrounding is hampered first. That means the energy transfer from the near field to the system or system to the near field. That means the near field is first affected by the system. Then the far field. Far field is very far from the boundary of the system. Near field means is very nearer to the boundary or close to the boundary. Okay. Then boundary. Boundary means first this is a movable boundary. Movable boundary means what? The boundary can be movable. You take the example of a piston and cylinder assembly. So this is a piston. Okay. This is a cylinder. Okay. The piston can be moved. That means this is the system here. The system might change its volume by the motion of this piston. That means here one boundary is piston head. And this might move in this direction. This is a movable boundary through which the system volume will change. So this is not a control volume. This is a control mass system. Hmm. And then imaginary boundary. So what is imaginary boundary? Take the help of this room. This is the room. This is the window. Okay. Now the window is open. So if the room is a system, then how could we physically define a system? By its boundary, which will separate system from surrounding. So this and this are the system. But what about this? So we have to assume one virtual boundary here or some imaginary boundary. What are the imaginary boundary? That means the mass can transfer through this boundary. Okay. Always the imaginary boundary will make a system open. That means this is an open system. The mass can transfer. Huh. So these are the these are the different definitions and classification of the system surrounding and boundary. Then coming to, if you want, you can take the screenshot of this one. Then I'll erase. Okay. Now I can erase. Now I'll be discussing about property, state of a system, process of a system, everything. These three things. First, talk about state of the system. Okay. Let's say this is the system. State of the system at a particular time. At a particular time, the physical characteristics of the system are fixed. What do you mean by physical characteristics? Temperature is a physical, thermophysical property. This is a property. Properties and physical characteristics are different things. All property are physical characteristics of the system, but all physical characteristics are not the property of the system. Let me explain how. So temperature is a characteristics of a physical characteristic of the system. Density is a physical characteristics of a system. So at a particular state or at a particular time, these physical characteristics are fixed. If you change the state, the physical characteristics are changed. Okay. Either change the state means, let's take inside the system, the physical characteristics are changing from T1 to T2 and rho 1 to rho 2. So there is a changing of phase from one phase to another phase. But there are different paths to happen this T1 rho 1 to T2 to rho 2. Different path inside the system to change this, to happen this change from T1 rho 1 to T2 rho 2. If we fix a path, then this change of state is called a process. The change of state is called a process. How could you define the change of state is a process? By fixing a path, fixed path. Okay. So that means if you are fixing a path through which a changing of state is happening, then we can say the change of state is nothing but a process. If you don't fix a path, that means it is not a process. Then talking about what is the property, we know about the physical characteristics. That means at a particular state, the physical characteristics are fixed. But what are the difference between physical characteristics and property? Property is always a physical characteristics, but this will obey some rules of mathematics. What are the rules? First rule is the property should be a point function. I'll discuss about what is the point function. Second one is the property should be a exact differential. So we can define a physical characteristics as a property once the physical characteristics will obey these two rules of mathematics. So first we'll discuss about point functions. So in a process, the change of state happen. Change of state means at a particular state the physical characteristics are fixed. The change of physical characteristics happen. Okay. Let's take an example is T. T is a physical characteristics. Okay. And what is point function? We know that always a process is happening through a fixed path. That is the definition of the property. Process, sorry. That is the definition of a process. That means this will happen through a fixed path. That means if there is a process happening inside the system, the physical characteristics will change through this path. If you take another process through different path, then what will happen? Whether the final result characteristics will be same, yes or no? If this will be same, that means the whatever the process will be there, whatever the path will be there, the initial and final physical characteristics are same. If you take different process, different path, process means different path, okay, the final and initial physical characteristics are not changed. In this case, These physical characteristics are called as property. This will not depend upon the path followed by the process. This will be depending upon the initial and final point of the process. So that's called the property of the system. If you take temperature, density, these all are property, because whatever the process will be there, whatever the path will follow, whatever the path will follow, this will be not depending upon path. In a process, whatever the path will follow, this will not depending upon the path. This will be depending upon the initial and final point of the process. So that's called the property. This is so if this will be depending upon path, then this is not a property. Those physical characteristics will be depending upon path, they are not property. And if the physical characteristics are depending upon path, this physical, let's say x is a physical characteristics, this depending upon path. So this is x is called a path function. But properties are called the point function. So what do you mean by point function? Mathematically, point function means we can write a point function in terms of exact differential. Let's take the change of a point function t. Let's t is a point function or a property of a system. The change of a point function is denoted by exact differential dt. That will be t2, that is the final point, minus the initial point. If x is a path function, is not a property, it is a physical characteristic which is a path function, then we cannot write dx equal to x2 minus x1. We cannot write. So this is not a exact differential. So this is an inexact differential. So how the inexact differential are represented mathematically? This can be represented by this or this. And these are not equal to x2 minus x1. As these are path function. Then thing is that mathematically, how could you recognize this? This is a exact differential or inexact differential. Let me give you one example. Now I think property, state, and process are clear. I will be mathematically define what are the difference between exact and inexact differential. Now can I rub it? Okay. Exact differentials are, let's use a function of x and y. Mathematically we can write du equal to del u by del x into dx plus del u by del y into dy. So if you write del u by del x by m, that means m dx, and del u by del y by n, that is n dy, that means du can be written as m dx and m dy. If du equals to 0, then, and if del m by del y equal to del n by del x, so this is the only condition when a differential equations or a differential will be exact one, So this is the condition you should remember. If you don't know, please follow the Krejcik mathematics book or any mathematics book. This will be the condition for the exactness of equation, differential equation. Okay. Let's move to the next concept. The next one is thermodynamic equilibrium. Thermodynamic equilibrium. So what is the thermodynamic equilibrium? Thermodynamic equilibrium means this is the combination of four different equilibrium. That means thermodynamic equilibrium is a combination of four different equilibrium. One is thermal equilibrium, Second one is mechanical equilibrium. Third one is chemical equilibrium. Fourth one is phase equilibrium. Equilibrium means the stability of a system. That means the system is at stable form. And you know the stability? Stability means it will continue the state of the system for the infinite time one until unless it will be disturbed by the external force. That is called stability. What is the thermal equilibrium? Thermal equilibrium means total the system in the system at anywhere the temperature will be same. There will be not a fluctuation of temperature inside the system. Mechanical equilibrium means the pressure will be same throughout the system. Chemical equilibrium means the chemical composition will be same inside the system. So there will be not a variation of the chemical composition inside the system. Phase means the phase, that means the system will contain a single phase. The phase equilibrium is somehow, if this is a single phase means this is a homogeneous phase. Homogeneous phase means a single phase. Heterogeneous phase means that is a combination of two or more phase. Phase, you know, there are three phase: liquid, solid, and gas. If the system is consisting of only gas, then this is a single phase, or only solid or only liquid, then this is a homogeneous system or phase equilibrium. If there is a combination of solid and gas, then this is not a homogeneous system, this is a heterogeneous system. Okay. If these four equilibrium are established, then all in all we can say the system is maintaining a thermodynamic equilibrium. Failing of one equilibrium will be the failing of the thermodynamic equilibrium. Please remember. Let's move towards the next concept. Before going to, okay, let's then coming to the phase. What is the pure substance? For the pure substance, two conditions should be fulfilled by the substance. One is this should be a homogeneous phase. The substance should be in a homogeneous. That means this is a single. This is at a single phase. And second one, the chemical composition throughout the chemical compositions throughout the substance will be same. If these two conditions satisfied, then we can say this is a pure substance. And the pure substance in a property diagram means what is the process can be represented by a property diagram. In a property diagram, we need at least two property to fix a state of the system. Suppose there is a process happening from initial phase to the final phase. So at any point of time, the intermediate state, how could you define an intermediate state? By fixing two of its property. Okay, let's say you have to define this state. So we need two property, either temperature, pressure, or temperature, entropy, or enthalpy, entropy, anything. So these two properties should be fixed to fix a intermediate state or state of a process. So that is called the two-phase rule. Two-property rule. Two-phase rule, sorry. Or two-property rule also sometimes. That means, let's take one property is X, another property is Y. That means by at the time of y the x is fixed. So that means this is the state of the process. Let's take the process is happening like this. So at each state we can define there is a property of two, the value of the property at each state. That means if you want to specify this state of this process, so we need to specify this y property as well as x property. So that is two-phase rule. Let's talk about concept of continuum. Continuum means what? Let's take there is a system. In the system there are only two molecules. If there are two molecules, the properties of these two molecules are not continuous in the system. In the system, these are not continuous. Okay, that means what is the concept of continuum? In very easy language, we can say there is no void present in the system. That means the molecules are packed, are heavily packed like this. The void amount is very less. If the molecules amount is more, then this is nothing but the continuum approach of the molecule. That means the whatever the property will be there, these are continuous property, not discrete property. The continuous property could be inferred from concept of continuum. That means the less number of voids present. So how could you know what is the limit of the void, so that above this limit we can say the property could be continuous or the concept of continuum, because all the properties, all the process whatever we will analyze, this will be based upon the continuum process or continuous process. Okay, so what is the limit or what are the limit of these voids, so that we could define a system is continuous? For this there is a number defined by the mechanical engineer or the researcher, that is the constant number. What is the definition of constant number? This will be nothing but the lambda by L, where lambda is mean free path. From the intermediate, I think you should know about mean free path. Mean free path means there are what is the minimum distance between two successive hindrance. Okay, in a system, what is the minimum distance between two successive hindrance or collision of molecules? That is called mean free path, and L is the characteristics length. Characteristic length of the system. What is the characteristic? Some scientists uh, define it as 4a by p. That means area, A is area, p is the perimeter of the system. Some scientists are defining it v by a, volume of the system divided by the area of the system. Whatever the thing, the characteristics length, and this is mean free path. If the constant number is less than 0.01, then the system is continuous. That means the concept of continuum is valid. If this will be like in between, so this is a slip flow. So that means the molecules are slipping over each other. If the constant number is greater than 10, this will be a free molecular flow. That means there are a less number of molecules inside a system, like in space. There are the free molecular flow. Should remember this. So whatever the properties are defined, this will be defined for a constant number less than 0.01. That means where the concept of continuum is valid. Okay, let's go to the next topic. Next one is, what is thermodynamics and thermostatic? Thermodynamics, what does it mean? Thermodynamics, the transfer of heat or transfer of energy. If thermodynamics is dealing with the equilibrium state, at equilibrium state, the uh, system is at stability, maintaining the stability, and stable means somehow related to the static position. Okay, then then the thermodynamics should be named as thermostatic. Why this is dynamic? See, in reality, actually, there is not equilibrium state is maintained. In reality, there are some pros and cons. In theoretical subject, always we are discussing about equilibrium or stability, but in reality, there is non-stability, non-equilibrium is established. Okay, so the thermodynamics is justified. So it is always a misnomer. It's always a misnomer, because some people are confused with thermostatic and thermodynamics, because theoretically the thermostatic name is justified, but when you are going to the real world, no process is there which will end at equilibrium. Always a non-equilibrium process is existing in real world. So for this, thermodynamics is justified. Hmm. Then coming to, I think you know about unit and dimension of the property. I'm not going into it. We'll take a different class, most probably the different class once we'll complete the first chapter to discuss about unit and dimension. It is a very beginning class. I think you might have studied in the intermediate what are the unit, what are the prefix and suffix. Prefix like milli, mega, giga, hexa, tera, peta, and dimension. How the unit is fixed. The conversion of unit, let's take temperature units are Kelvin, Fahrenheit, Celsius. How to convert between Celsius, Fahrenheit, and Kelvin. Everything will be discussed in a different class. Uh, a fundamental unit, derived unit. How could you derive a unit from a fundamental unit? There are two methods. One is the Rayleigh method, another is the Buckingham Pike theorem. Everything I think you might have studied in your intermediate, some of the basic. Okay, Buckingham, I think you have not studied it, so we'll be discussing in a separate class. So I'm not going into it. Whatever the concept need for this class, unit and dimension, you know it, I think. Then coming to zeroth law. So there are three laws of thermodynamics. First is zeroth law. What do you mean by zeroth law? Zeroth law means if there are three different systems, this system 1, system 2 and system 3. If system 1 is thermal equilibrium with 2 and system separately it is thermal equilibrium with 3, then these 2 and 3 are thermal equilibrium with each other. That is called zeroth law. That means if the temperature 1 equal to temperature 2 and temperature 1 equal to temperature 3, then this temperature 3 will be same as temperature 2. That is whatever the zeroth law tell you. Okay. Then coming to the, what do you mean by pressure? What do you mean by pressure? I'll define it in next class. I'll take a class unit and dimension and measurement in your next class. In your next class, we'll be discussing about unit, dimension, and measurement. What are the different measurement instruments available for the basic properties of a system? Everything will be discussing. So this is already 45-minute class. So I think this is enough for today, and hope you guys are enjoying this class. So I'm giving you all the concept, all the theoretical. You might be feeling bored because this is a theoretical class. Might be 2 to 3 theoretical class have been taken, because once we know the proper theory of this subject, then we'll be moving towards the thermodynamics, a real mathematical class. Okay, and hope you guys are enjoying it. If you enjoying it, then hit the like button and subscribe our channel TechRef, and share this video with your friends, and like this video. If you don't like this video, hit the unlike button and give us the suggestion through the comment box. Thank you so much, and I'll meet you in the next class. For this, stay safe and stay blessed.